What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Last time, we got to see a scenario where Cell was actually reincarnated, coming back to life as a Namekian. Following the group's discovery of him, he came to Earth and began training there, quickly finding a new group of friends, and surprisingly, a new teacher. Not only was he training under Piccolo, but Vegeta, being his first ever student. With the last part setting everything up, this time we'll be moving into the Buu saga, seeing what happens there with Cyborg involved. For this part, let's set a like goal of 3,500 likes. Once we hit that, I'll continue with another part of this series. Anyways, let's pick up from here. The last part ended with the group finding out about a tournament coming up. And naturally, everyone's pretty excited. It's an opportunity to finally fight again. Not to mention, Goku's gonna be there too, being able to come back for a day from Otherworld. Although everyone is excited, Cyborg is a bit worried because of what I brought up last time. He does kinda need a disguise because otherwise, he may be misinterpreted as being Cell. If he shows up as is, people might think he's a villain back to destroy them. And that won't really turn out too well if he does that. Luckily for Cyborg, most of the Earthlings in Dragon Ball are incredibly stupid, so he just has a very simple disguise. Sunglasses. That's actually enough to hide him from everyone. Also, he'll be entering under a different name, referred to as the Great Saiyan 2. This will also make him look a lot better because if he's called the Great Saiyan, people will recognize that he's a hero. Two Great Saiyan entering the tournament will make everyone feel safe and hyped up. Right before the tournament starts, Goku comes back and everyone gets to see him. This actually gives Cyborg an opportunity to learn more about Goku, besides what he knew before. Obviously he is familiar with him, but not too much. He doesn't know Goku nearly as well as anyone else on Earth, so this is a nice opportunity to fully introduce himself, more formally than before. Goku is just as excited to meet him too. He's been watching from Otherworld, thanks to some help from King Kai, and they've seen how well training's been going for everyone. Vegeta and Gohan have gotten a lot stronger, as well as Piccolo who's been training with them because of Cyborg. But more importantly, he's interested in Cyborg himself. From what Goku understands, Cyborg got a lot stronger and a lot more refined as a fighter, and he wonders how well Vegeta did as a teacher. Unless they get to fight during the tournament, Goku hopes that he could fight Cyborg one-on-one. He doesn't have too much time on Earth, but he'd like to test Cyborg's power and see how he's developed. The group is pretty surprised to see how strong he is. He has trained under Vegeta and Piccolo after all. But no one ever expected Vegeta to be a teacher, and it's pretty surprising how well he did. Not only that, but Cyborg is one of the group's strongest, if not the strongest at the moment, thanks to his insane latent potential. And on a more lighthearted note, Cyborg actually gets to meet Android 18 for the first time. Or a better way to phrase it is 18 gets to meet Cyborg. He doesn't know who she is, but obviously she heard that Cell got reincarnated. It's nice to meet him, but hopefully he doesn't absorb her like Cell did. With all the greetings and meetings out of the way, now everyone heads into the tournament. And the roster is pretty much the same with the exception of one of the random human fighters being replaced by Cyborg. And the tournament actually starts pretty normally. It seems like it's going to be pretty fun. At least, until Babdi's group arrives. Sadly, there's not going to be much fighting done, at least not yet, because Babdi's minions crash the party. This all occurs pretty much like normal. Spopovich and Yamu are there, and they try to take energy from Gohan. Supreme Kai antics ensue, and it pretty much goes like normal, with the group going to find Babdi's ship, with Cyborg included this time. Cyborg's inclusion will change a lot here once he's actually involved. And this first starts when they encounter Dabura. He kills Kibito like normal, and he sees all these really strong fighters there, people he could take energy from for Babdi. A bunch of people he could take energy from. This should be more than enough for Buu, although it might be a little too much. He doesn't know if he could handle all these fighters at once. But luckily he could just spit on someone and turn them into stone, making it a lot simpler. This time he chooses different prey though. He doesn't want too many strong fighters against him, so he decides to spit on Piccolo and then Gohan, leaving only 3 really strong fighters to face him. They're all led into the ship, and they make their way down like normal, killing Pui Pui and Yakan really easily, leaving only Dabura as the last defense. But Dabura is confident, maybe a little bit too confident, and the person to actually fight him is Cyborg. Cyborg has a really easy time facing Dabura. The Namekian is actually way stronger when compared to Dabura, and even though he's pretty young compared to Dabura, his experience is still pretty good. This is the first time he really gets to showcase his expertise as a fighter, but he also knows he needs to end the fight quickly, so he aims to do just that, and Babdi knows that this isn't going well. If Dabura dies, they'll have no way to get energy, at least not in any traditional means. But Babdi actually has a good idea. Maybe he could possess one of the people in the group, looking into their hearts to see who he can corrupt. Goku's pure of heart, so that's not happening. As for Cyborg, all that evilness from Cell was erased, so that's not happening either. Vegeta is his best potential target, but that's also pretty much out of the picture. Vegeta is aware that Babdi is trying to possess him, and this time he doesn't give in. Unlike before in the original story, Vegeta's content with where he is. He's stronger, and if and when he does fight Kakarot, he feels it'll be a lot more even. And he has no desire to go back to his evil self because he feels pretty fulfilled with his life. Having Cyborg there as a rival and a training partner, it's pretty helpful. He's also grown surprisingly closer to Piccolo and Gohan, both of whom train alongside him a lot. so he's not going to give in to Babidi's magic, and there's no Majin Vegeta here. And this leaves Dabura to get desperate, but he has a plan. During their fight, he turns to Shin quickly, spitting on him and turning the Supreme Kai into stone. Then lunging over towards him, Saibo tries to catch him but it's too late. Dabura grabs onto Shin, taking him hostage, unfreezing his head and then holding his sword to his throat. If any of them come closer, he'll kill Shin, as Babidi then teleports both of them away to Babidi's lair. They unfreeze Shin, and Dabura then stabs him, taking most of his energy. It's not too much, but it does contribute to Buu. Not to mention, Gohan is a bit stronger in this scenario, so they already got more energy than before. They just need a little bit more. They need a sneak attack. Dabura is sent back up with the energy collection device. And without wasting time, he immediately stabs Saibo, taking energy. Saibo isn't hurt and can regenerate, and he's able to knock Dabura back pretty quickly, although Dabura did get some energy from him. Dabura is pushed back into Vegeta, who then launches a blast right through his chest, knocking Dabura back into Saibo, who finishes him off. And just like that, Dabura is dead, and everyone that was turned into stone gets unfrozen. But they notice something weird. They look around and they don't see that energy collection device, the one that Saibo just got stabbed with. In the midst of all that distraction, Babidi was actually able to sneak up there and take the energy, and this little bit from Saibo is actually enough. It's just the amount he needed to revive Buu. They make haste as they go to find Babidi, with Piccolo and Gohan then joining on the ship. Krillin's there too, but he's kinda scared so he stays back a bit, although he sticks close to the group. They need to find Shin and Babidi before it's too late. Thankfully Shin's still alive, although in bad shape. But he tells them it's too late, as they look over and see Babidi's egg. Steam comes out of it and the entire ship erupts, with the group escaping back to the surface. From the crater where the ship was, a new villain ascends, a giant pink monster with Babidi on his shoulder. Buu has finally been revived. Obviously he doesn't look too intimidating, but his power, that's intimidating. The group all powers up and begins fighting him. They may actually have a shot against Buu. Even though he is really strong, their powers combined may be more than enough, but they're not too sure yet. They need to gauge Buu's power and his abilities first. At first, they are actually able to deal damage to Buu. They're able to leave a couple of marks, but then they find out that he actually has regeneration. Great, another regenerating villain, just what they needed. But this time it's not even like what Cell had, it's way more potent. Buu seemingly can regenerate infinitely, and it doesn't seem like he's getting tired out either. As of now with their combined power, the group is able to hold him off, but that's all they're able to manage. They're not able to deal any damage or kill him. Right now they're essentially just buying time while they figure out what to do, unsure of how to defeat a foe like this. They never thought they'd meet someone this strong. Right now he's fighting 3 Super Saiyan 2s, Piccolo, Saibo, and although they're not doing much, Krillin and Shin. But even with all these strong fighters against him, Buu is brushing off every attack. Babidi's laughing. This is incredible. He expected nothing less of Majin Buu, and he watches on delighted as Buu continues winning the fight. Not only is he powerful and able to regenerate, but his magic is another issue too. They need to find a way to work around all of that. And luckily, Goku may have an idea. He wanted to kind of hold this back to see how everyone else would perform without it. And not to mention, using it would shorten his time on Earth and he'd have to go back to Otherworld a lot sooner. But he has a trump card, something up his sleeve that he hasn't used yet. Much to everyone's surprise, he begins powering up, going past Super Saiyan 2 in terms of power. His hair begins growing, his aura gets more intense. And there in front of them, they see Goku now in Super Saiyan 3. This is amazing! They didn't know there was a form beyond Super Saiyan 2, much less something this powerful. And with Goku now having this power utilized, this gives the group a huge boost. Before, they were only holding off Buu and buying time, but now they actually have an advantage in power. An advantage that's large enough for them to possibly kill Buu, destroying every piece of him quicker than he could regenerate. But this isn't a guaranteed victory. They need a combined attack, perfect coordination to allow Goku to utilize this power to its fullest, defeating Buu in the process. Working on their toes, they're able to quickly come up with a coordinated move. Piccolo and Saibo start first with a distraction, each of them launching a bunch of ki blasts around Buu, creating a Hellzone grenade. They draw all the ki blasts in, creating a massive explosion and a smoke screen. With all the debris dissipating, they see Buu there with a little bit of injury, although it's not too bad. He laughs it off and begins regenerating, but before he does, he's then hit by 2 blasts from behind. 2 Kamehamehas, both from Goku and Gohan. This stops Buu from regenerating as he turns around, ready to attack them. He draws his hand back and prepares a ki blast, but before he can attack, he's then hit again from behind, this time with a final flash from Vegeta and Cyborg. Goku grabs Gohan and they teleport to where Vegeta is, getting out of the way so they don't get hit as well. Buu is sustaining more and more damage, and whenever he's about to regenerate, he's hit again by another attack. The final flash is hit dead on, with Krillin even jumping up and throwing a barrage of Kienzans at him, and Piccolo launching a light grenade. As all the attacks land and the light dissipates, they see a mangled and beaten Majin Buu standing there. He's about to regenerate once more, but before he even can, he's hit by another blast. a full power Kamehameha from Gohan, with Goku then joining in with his own. All at once, the group launches a massive beam attack. Combining together as it hits Buu dead on. Babidi tries to escape, but then he's hit by a laser that goes right through him, falling to the ground as he looks up and sees Shin standing over him, finishing the job and killing the wizard. Shin watches on as the blast eradicates Buu, and just for good measure, the group continues firing, just to make sure they erase every little bit of him. They stop launching their blast, and left behind is nothing but a crater. No Buu in sight, not even little pieces of him. He's completely gone, no regeneration. And just like that, they were able to stop Majin Buu and Babidi. But this does pose a pretty big issue. Goku wasted a lot of his time on Earth by using Super Saiyan 3, and immediately after, he's going to be taken back to Otherworld. He tells everyone it was nice to see them once more, even though he was only here for a couple hours or so. He's content, and he tells them he hopes to see them all again soon. Well, not in Otherworld, but hopes to see them all on Earth again. But in the off chance that they do die, he looks forward to seeing them in Otherworld too. With that awkward goodbye, he leaves, meaning this arc ends without Goku being revived. But wait a second, even though they took some time away from the tournament, there may still be enough time to get back. The crowd's probably still there, and maybe they can get back and do something about it. Although they are a bit worn out, and they do need to get the Dragon Balls to revive Kibito, but Shin volunteers to do that himself. He doesn't really mind. They help save the entire universe by eradicating Majin Buu, so he'll let them have their fun. The group all heads back to the tournament, and now the order of the tournament is kinda messed up since they did leave. But they're willing to work something out and they create a new bracket. Also, Gohan and Cyborg realize that their disguises are ruined. Well, so much for their secret identity, but they're all looking forward to fighting. The bracket goes like this: 18 versus Vegeta, Gohan versus Krillin, Cyborg versus one of the random human fighters, and Piccolo versus one of the random human fighters. And it's pretty clear how these fights are gonna go. First is 18 versus Vegeta. This is a kind of weird matchup, but the two do enjoy their fight, although Vegeta does win, finally getting payback for that time 18 broke his arm, meaning Vegeta's gonna move on to the next round. Next is Gohan versus Krillin, and I don't think I need to tell you how this goes. Krillin's obviously gonna win here. I mean, he's pretty much the strongest of the group. No, obviously Gohan wins this one, with Cyborg and Piccolo also winning both of their fights. But after this, the bracket gets a lot more interesting. The next fight is Gohan versus Piccolo, a fight between master and student. Considering all the times that they've trained together, they've never really had an all-out fight. Well, at least not too often. This will be a good time to test their power. Although they are a bit weakened and injured from their fight with Buu, everyone is, so it kinda does even things out. Plus it adds kind of a handicap. They're not gonna be at their full strength. Gohan powers up into Super Saiyan 2, and the two begin their battle. This is the first really explosive battle of the tournament, and everyone's surprised to see how strong Piccolo is too. Even though he doesn't have broken transformations like Saiyans, his training alone was enough for him to get stronger, and a lot of that is thanks to him training with Cyborg. Piccolo's also impressed with Gohan's power, although he did see a lot of that against Buu. The two enjoy their fight, and it ends with Gohan being the victor. Next up is Vegeta versus Cyborg, another master versus student matchup. This one's going to be a lot closer than Gohan versus Piccolo. The two are very close in terms of power, and Vegeta's just as excited for this as Cyborg is. Knowing Vegeta, they've likely had all-out fights before, and Vegeta's not going to turn down another one. He doesn't want Cyborg holding anything back, and he tells him he's going to do the same. Immediately he jumps into Super Saiyan 2, with Cyborg charging up and unleashing all his power. The two of them move so fast that no one in the stands can see them. Well, everyone besides the rest of the Dragon Team. Every punch that connects sends a shockwave through the arena, and even though no one can really see it, they're still amazed. They could feel every punch, every impact. The battle even goes mid-air, and it seems the two of them are close to being evenly matched. But Cyborg has a lot more abilities that Vegeta doesn't have. He's able to use a lot of different techniques that he's picked up from Piccolo, not to mention some other Namekian traits that he has, like being able to stretch his limbs out. He's not just utilizing power, he's utilizing strategy, and Vegeta's impressed. The fight ends and Cyborg takes the win, and now that leads us to the finals, Cyborg versus Gohan, a battle between friends and rivals. This should be really interesting, and even closer than Cyborg versus Vegeta was, which also was an incredibly close fight. It's a battle of Saiyan versus Saiyan. The two clash, and immediately the entire arena erupts, with all the stone tiles below them disintegrating. They completely destroyed the ring just by the two of them interacting. The fight goes airborne quickly, as the two exchange blows mid-air. Gohan's fought with Piccolo enough to know about Cyborg's tricks, not to mention, he just watched Cyborg fight Vegeta, so he's analyzed Cyborg's fighting style and knows how it works. The two of them have trained enough together for him to know this, and he's keeping an eye out for the techniques that he used against Vegeta. Cyborg stretches an arm out and tries to grab Gohan. Gohan quickly dodges it, then grabbing Cyborg's arm, flipping him over and flinging him down into the ring. He rockets down with a kick, and quickly, Cyborg jumps up and flies back, avoiding the kick as Gohan lands. The two jump up once more and begin exchanging ki blasts, making sure to stay away from the arena so they don't accidentally hurt anyone. And now it's time for the two of them to use their beam attacks. Quickly, Gohan charges a Kamehameha, and in response, Cyborg uses a final flash, wanting to see if it'll counter them. He could use a Kamehameha too, but it feels more fitting to use something he learned from Vegeta. Electricity sparks throughout the arena. As the two beams hit each other, the two are holding each other back, but while Gohan's focused on launching his beam, Cyborg stretches out his leg underneath his beam, as it then curves around to Gohan, kicking his hands, and Gohan's hit head-on by the final flash as his Kamehameha launches up in the air. Cyborg was able to figure out a good strategy and outmaneuver Gohan, and now the victor is named. Cyborg takes the win here. The two shake hands, glad to have had their fight, and despite the tournament being crashed before by Babidi's minions, everything turned out pretty well, although they're pretty bummed that Goku had to return to Otherworld. Maybe they'll see him again soon though, and with a certain new foe about to awaken, the chances of them hearing from Goku once more are much higher. But we'll be saving that for the next part. This is where we'll leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this part, and what do you think is going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of the series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting that bell icon to get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos I upload on my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.